introduction and doing it all, and Sean just goes, let's walk on together, it's gangster. And I was like, it is gangster. It is gangster. You guys, this is iconic to say the least. How are you doing?
Good.
I'm feeling very iconic at the moment.
Front row there.
There's a baby in the front row. We're obviously here to talk about Lord of the Rings. We're going to take questions from the audience. Jermaine is out there somewhere with a microphone. He's going to find you. He's going to give you.
Hello, Jermaine.
Jermaine will select you, and he will pick the question. Is that okay? And you're already standing up. It's fine. How are you finding Liverpool this weekend? Have you had a good weekend? It's been
Love it.
Liverpudlians.
Fantastic meals.
I didn't know the Beatles are from here. that was a good thing to
No
find out.
way. Well, from one Fab Four to another, and Legolas. I've had that in my head for weeks.
Wow.
And you're enjoying the city and you're seeing the sights, and I hope these guys have been good to you.
Yeah, it's been great. I took a walk around the city this morning, actually. I was up with jet lag at like 5 in the morning, so I just strolled out down to the museum on the docks. It was beautiful.
You're not implying that he's Yoko, are you? No. I think he's more kind of Brian.
George Martin.
George Martin, lovely.
Yeah.
Very classic.
Yeah. You guys make a mess, he sorts it out. That seems to be the thing. We're going to dive straight into audience questions first, and then we're at number 1, and then I will jump in between if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah.
Question 1, hello.
Hello. Very high, so it's not no for hobbits.
Oh.
I just want to say thank you for being here. We're all really, really grateful that you all made it here. And my question is, what is your most favourite line from the trilogy? Mine is salted pork.
I'll go first. Shall I get you a box?
You bow to no one.
I like the one that Gandalf does to Frodo about, it's not our job to decide, well, I can't remember.
What to do with it.
Were there any lines in that movie?
They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
I haven't got anything left to say. And you have my bow.
What's so funny is when we were talking about you guys coming over, I went, yeah, they're taking the hobbits to Isengard, yeah, I suppose, yeah. a whole one. Where's the next question, number 2?
There's number 2 over there.
Hello, number 2.
How you doing? You okay? Question is for Elijah. Your last shot in Return of the King is, I forget the line now, not quite there's room for a little more.
Yeah.
What's the juxtaposition of your character saying goodbye to Middle-earth against Peter Jackson, who wasn't really ready to let go of Middle-earth? Can you talk about filming that shot?
That's so interesting. That's a really good question.
So much.
I remember filming that, so that little bit of essentially finishing his part in the book in Bag End. And it was the last shot that I filmed in the entire, because we would go back every film, I'm sure all of you know this, but we would go back every year for additional filming for each film and do pickups. And so that was the last bit I ever shot. It was really emotional because it was so symbolic of the end of Frodo's journey and handing that over to Sam. The legacy of it, essentially, it's your adventure to take now, it's your story to write. All of the weight of that, and it was deeply emotional. Peter, Fran, and Philippa were sat behind the monitor, all of them crying. It's certainly informed on the sort of performance for me, the underlying. I mean, obviously it's an emotional moment for Frodo, but in a different way, not in a sort of overt way. It was heavy. But the sort of what you're saying, that juxtaposition of the end of Frodo's to sort of Pete's then journey going forward, I don't think he quite knew in that moment that he would be carrying on, certainly not to Middle-earth again and to taking on The Hobbit, because we asked him while we were shooting Rings whether he wanted to make The Hobbit, and he wanted nothing to do with it. He wasn't interested in The Hobbit, and that kind of came later. But it was an incredible moment and very powerful way to end.
Thank you very
Can
much.
I ask a question? Elijah, do we know what the very last thing that was filmed for Lord of the Rings
I
was?
don't know, actually.
No, Sean, do you know? Does somebody know? No? We don't know what was the last... No?
I suspect it would have been, it'll be
Like
technical,
stuff.
like...
But like last cast who was out, do we know that?
Don't know. There has to be a last cast moment. I don't know what that is.
Anyone knows here?
Yeah, who knows?
Someone
does know.
I said, come on, what the reckon for
Do you know?
super fans?
Was it not Gollum's reaction to learning Frodo was going to destroy the ring, and it was shot at Peter Jackson's house just before the awards, because it was very, very late pickup?
Oh, that's
Very possible.
That's a word.
Well done. Thank you.
I think we're going to take the next question from number 4 at the back over there. We're doing it like a clockwise type of thing.
We should probably make 3, 4 then. Can you swap
You
those
didn't know
numbers?
Dom has OCD, is really firing right now.
You can't go 2, 4, 3.
I was wondering what scene you found most fun to film.
most fun to film, is that right?
There was a scene that really made me laugh a lot, and it was because of something that Orlando said. There's a scene where Legolas tells Merry and Pippin about lembas bread. How it's so good for giving you energy, and 2 small bites will, fill a grown man for a week, kind of thing. And we were doing the scene and everything was fine. We'd set it up, and then we'd stopped as they were moving a light or something. And Orlando said to me, came over to me and Dom and said, I don't know how to do this, because when I'm doing it, it just feels like I'm doing an advert. For lembas bread. And after that, every time he tried to say it, I could just see him in a TV doing an advert.
It really did feel like that. It felt like giving an advert, like, and that was my first time, right?
Was it?
Yeah,
Was
like-
that, and we're sitting in that.
No, but it was my
little
first
boat.
movie, so I was really like, wait, this just feels like.
And it was quite a week,
quite
because
hard.
you had to walk over and just
Yeah.
basically say that, and we're just looking at you.
I remember that.
We had our own experience with lembas bread. Andrew Jack, the late wonderful dialect coach that we had, one of our 2 dialect coaches, he kept saying to me that I had to elongate the vowels. Elongate. So I would say the lembas bread. He said, no, elongate lembas bread. The lembas bread. The lembas bread. He's like, well, elongate the vowels. I just frustrated the lembas bread. The lembas bread. We had the rushes, when you see the previous day's work, and it was at night, and the whole cast was gathered around, and I'm sitting next to Elijah, right? And it comes on, and it's a nice big fat close-up, and big as the host with the
Is that,
I get stuck, potato, you know what I mean? That's a nice shiny apple. That was the line that I couldn't quite do the accent the way they wanted us to do it. I'm just, slow or something. And Andrew got a tape of a West Country farmer. Said, well, that's a nice shiny apple. Before every line of dialogue I ever did in the entire movie, I said, that's a nice shiny apple.
we've got another question. I do apologise, we're going to number 3. Was it number 3? Can I have a question for Don, just to...
Yeah, it's my daughter's 8th birthday today, Harper. She's sitting 2 seats from the back. She's been lucky enough to meet you all, and yeah, she didn't want to party with her friends. She wanted the Lord of the Rings weekend.
Good taste.
So I was just wondering if you could all give her a happy birthday song.
Is it Harper, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, you ready, guys?
Ready.
3, 2, 1.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Harper. Happy birthday to you. Could you tell I elongated the vowels?
It's actually my birthday as well today. I didn't have to do this for a song.
It's actually John Rhys Davies' birthday today as well, apparently.
It is, yeah. Happy birthday. All the best people. Number 1, hello.
Hi guys, thank you so much for coming. It's been wonderful to meet all of you this weekend. Elijah, sorry I went silent on you. Nerves, horrible things. Anyway, question. Were there any decisions that your character made throughout the course of the trilogy that you didn't agree with? And if so, what would it be?
Is this for all of us?
Yeah.
Taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Well, I've got one that it's like slightly to your point, but just a little adapted, which always slightly frustrated me. In the books, when Gandalf is struggling to get to open the doors to Moria, it's Merry that solves the riddle for him. and I was on set, a 24-year-old young man, and Pete and Fran are very smart, very shrewd people, and Fran could always make me do anything because Fran's just a beautiful elven princess. And she came over to me and put my arm around me and said, Dom, we're thinking of giving that moment to Frodo. And I just went, oh. Why? And Fran said, well, we're trying to establish this stronger connection between Frodo and Gandalf before there's kind of a break between everyone, and it's important to just try and have those connections. We'll find something else for you. And you can't say, you're not in a position to say yes or no anyway, but I remember thinking, I don't have a lot to do in these films. Elijah has quite a bit more. So I didn't really agree with it.
I've got one. So, you know that there were many units. First unit, second unit, A unit, B unit, helicopter unit, insert unit, this, scale double unit. So sometimes Fran and Philippa would direct stuff. And we were doing the Cirith Ungol scene. And Sam was a reluctant ring bearer when he thinks Frodo's killed by Shelob, and he takes it. He's going to pick up the mission, and then when he realizes he's not dead, he goes swashbuckling all the way up and kills Shagrat or Shag or whatever, and then Frodo wakes up and is like, "Give me the effing ring now." And I'm like, "Okay, well, they wanted me to have a moment where I didn't want to give it to him because maybe I wanted it for myself." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to do that." Sam went, "No." And Sam's like, "So your job as an actor is to do what they tell you to do, but you try and reconcile it with what you want to do." So if you look at that scene, I was having a bad wig day. My wig is like kind of stuck up in the back. It looks really stupid. And I do this thing where I pull it away for just a second, and what I was thinking to myself in that moment is, I don't want to give it to him because it's going to hurt him. And if it plays to them like maybe Sam's hesitating for himself, then I fooled them.
Does anyone want to ask me a question? Because I've got to leave now. I'm so sorry. I've got a flight to catch, unfortunately, so I'll be out. But
who is your favorite Hobbit?
All four of you, all together at the same time.
Can I ask a question?
Can I ask a question?
You said it was your first film, and then Dominic alluded to reading the book and finding out, obviously, his character was things. Did you read the book in advance? Did you know what was coming for Legolas, and how did you prepare?
Oh, what a mate. You alright? Yes, I had read the books in advance. I'd actually read The Hobbit years before, but then I obviously read Lord of the Rings. I think for everyone it was like a bit of a Bible. I think you always said that, and it was like we would always refer to our characters from the book. And back then, there wasn't emails. I used to send faxes to Pete and Fran saying, well, I think Legolas brings this news about Gollum when he comes to Rivendell, and that's a really important piece of information, you know, because that's the whole sort of, and it's equally to you, you know, similar to you. I think we all had, you know, lots of ideas that we were attached to, that we had to obviously let go of at different times just to serve the film, which I think, you know, obviously worked out really well for the film, and actually for all of us in turn. But it was, there was just, it was I think you couldn't not have the books sort of inscribed in you, and I think there was a huge sense of responsibility that we all felt to bring these characters alive, you know, and it was certainly as my first role, it was like, wow, this has felt like a lot of responsibility, but also, you know, we were super supported by the production, by Pete and Fran and everyone, you know, lots of movement training, lots of dialect. I mean, I think I was the first to get there, actually. I was like there, and then you guys came in, right? And I was like there for 3 months, and I was like, just kind of being taken to horse riding classes, and I was like, this is amazing. And archery and stuff like that. But then you guys came in. We flew together, that's a lie, we flew together.
Yeah, in a plane.
We flew together, we saw each other in the airport, and it was really funny because it was his birthday, and we had a glass of champagne that was free, I think, right? Something like that. We were flying business, maybe? Were we? Yeah, possibly. And yeah, but it was so funny. What was the first thing you said to me? I think you came over and said, you look like an elf.
Yeah, I
Which is really weird because you wouldn't have known what I looked like, right?
did. No, I didn't.
No.
You just said you're flying with someone, Orlando Bloom, and he's playing the elf Legolas. And I was going down to get some money changed into New Zealand money, you know, in the little hut that they have in an airport. And I saw this guy, and I was like, he kind of looks like an elf. And I thought, I'm going to ask him. I said, you're not Orlando Bloom.
And then it was your birthday and we had a nice
And then we learnt the poem, if you remember, on the flight, because obviously it's like 30 hours to get there. And we tested each other on one ring to rule the world. Yeah. Because we both had the book, obviously, and I was like, okay, go.
Oh man, I have to say, that was so magical, wasn't it? Arriving in that country. Oh my God.
Do you remember when we arrived as well, they gave us the script in a leather bound with your name on it. It was just, it felt like so special, didn't it?
Yeah, there was so much. That was very magical about the whole period. Anyway, I just want to say thank you all very much for having me. I haven't done many Comic-Cons, but you've been amazing. It's been so nice to say hello and hi and take photos and sign things, and I hope you've all had a great one, and I'm sorry I have to dash off. And as for you lot, on your right.
Who was that? He was lovely, wasn't he? Who was that? He smelled lovely, didn't he?
Is he one of your friends?
I feel like this is where the trouble's going to start now. George Martin's exited the picture. It's just a fat fall.
Feels like the teachers left, doesn't it?
I feel like there's mischief in the air. You alluded to going to New Zealand together on the plane and meeting there. You guys, I mean, you're a brotherhood. You are
family. It's been 25 years this year since you started filming.
Yeah.
You were in New Zealand for about 2 years?
16, what is it, 16 to 18 months of principal photography. Yeah.
And somehow you're still all really good friends. Which is fantastic.
I mean, we're family.
It is it more than that? Yeah.
It transcends friendship. I think one of y'all said it, it's unconditional. It's like we've seen each other through so many different phases of each other's lives in 25 years, you know?
You've got like kids now. What's that?
Yeah, that's what happens when you have friendships for this long. I said this at the last convention, I think, is you obviously see all colours of those humans and you accept them all because you love all parts of them. You love the good and the bad because you're like, well, I just want to know you in however way you show up. You know, that's really, for me at least, that's what it means to be a friend. Is like when it's good, I'm still your friend. When it's bad, I'm still your friend. You know, that's how it works.
He flew in with Orlando. I think I was the last out of the gang to get here because I was finishing off a job, but very quickly we jumped into full days of script rehearsals, dialect training, horse riding, sword fighting, kayaking. What else were we doing?